Sometimes it's a huge awakening also for clients once they realize that their values are not in alignment with their company. I know a lot of them in coaching with me, once they realize that, then they're like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? What's next? So it's the process of identifying their values and realizing what they are, and then realizing that they do not align. And what's the next step? And sometimes that's terrifying for people when they realize that. So when that happens in the clients that you work with, what is the next step that you go to with them?
Yeah. So when that happened to me in 2016, I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. My entire identity had been wrapped up in my career. And so to get to a place of, oh my gosh, I don't even know, like, what am I doing all this for? Who am I? And all those questions, it was really devastating. And so that's what led me to taking the step back of rather than stewing in the devastation and the disappointment and all of the negative head chatter that comes along with that, like you've wasted so much time and everything. That's when I decided to ask myself those two questions of when did I feel the most alive and when did I feel the most impactful. And that's exactly what I do with my clients, right? If for the ones who get to that place where they have that realization and it's devastating, two things will happen. They will either go into straight fear and survival mode and try to cling like no one's business to the very thing that they just recognized that they didn't, that they weren't aligned with out of fear. Or they, will go into the space of curiosity to say, okay, well, what can I do next? And so depending on where they are, I meet them where they are. If it's fear based and they're now clinging, I try to help them go back to, okay, well, what do you really want to accomplish here? And, if you could align a role with your values, what would that look like? Or a company with your values, what would that look like? And get them back into that innovative dream state, if you will. For the ones who are ready to explore, that's when we start to take a step back and say, what are some of the hints? I believe success leaves clues, right? What are some of the hints in the past in your career or people you admire that you would want to explore what that looks like?